Hey, happy Thursday. Kevin Lawrence here, Coach Kevin. As you know, it's a couple thoughts to share with you today. Two different principles. One, pivoting or shifting your business in two different ways, and empathy, and having a little bit of empathy for the situation that we're in. Obviously, we have empathy for people all around the world and what they're dealing with. And depending where you are, your situation's a bit different. But the first thing I want to talk about is pivoting, and a lot of people talking about pivoting their businesses and changing based on what the customers need. And the first piece I want to talk about is changing in consumer desires or spending. So there's a great article in the New York Times this weekend, and you can view it. It's called How the Virus Transformed the Way Americans Spend Their Money. And it has a whole whack of data about how Americans, which would be a pretty reasonable proxy for the rest of the world, are spending their money differently. So you can take a look at the article, but it's taken from credit card data and bank card data, and showing how they have dramatically changed what they're spending on. Now, does that predict what it's going to be in the future? No, but it's another data source to go from opinions through to actual facts happening in the market. And there will be hundreds of them that we need to pull from to kind of triangulate to try and figure out what we could do in our area. And obviously, we're going to have to do a lot of experimenting to see what's going to work, but we need some data sources to help. Second form of pivot is pivoting to being back in the office and just working with a team on their plans to get their people back in the office. And some companies have already done that, and the people that kept operating. But the root of it is that how do we make sure our people feel safe at work? And there will be lots of regulations and policies that the governments will have, but then internally we need to find our own way to do it. And we've got lots of smart people. So one of the companies we worked with a while ago actually just asked their people every day, what do you need to do in order to feel safe? And that's also something for each of you to consider, is asking your teams and starting to get that prepared now. And on that, Peter Diamandis has done some great research in the world of science. And right now he's doing a poll asking people, when do they think you will get back to work, or more at work, because some people are still working. But also looking at when all of these stay at home restrictions will be released in the US. Lots of stuff US centric. And I just took a look at the poll today, and it was looking like most people are thinking it's in the next 6 to 8 weeks. So sometime in June, when all of those restrictions are lifted, so you're able to get back to the office. Now, how people choose to and how they pace or phase getting back to the new normal, whatever that happens to be. So another great source, and he's doing some great research right now on getting some opinions from some real sharp people. So last thing for you, and we'll have the links for those two below as well. Last thing is around empathy. And Tim Skockin, one of my teammates here, great teammate, his wife was having a conversation with someone, and they're saying, we got to have a bit of empathy from ourselves, because it's not just that we're working at home. They actually phrased it, someone else had said, is actually, we're in a pandemic, and we're at home, and we're trying to work. And I've been used to working at home for many, many years, but for most people, they are not set up for it. So that kind of shifts the context to give us, cut us a little bit of slack. So give yourself a little bit of slack, but then we got to be working and ramping ourselves up to be ready for when we can be back to a normal or more normal version of our business, and making sure that we're prepared. And we have some time to do it still, but we want to be prepared so that we can push things early and make things happen. All right, have an awesome rest of the day.